Can I exercise if I have pelvic organ prolapse, or is it too late for me? If you have ever felt that bulging in the vagina, sense of heaviness, and you are thinking that it's too late, you cannot exercise anymore because you have pelvic organ prolapse, this video is for you. And I want to tell you right away, it's rarely too late to exercise because movement is a part of the solution. But what really matters is how we do it. So pelvic organ prolapse happens when one of our pelvic organs shifts down, bladder, uterus, or rectum shifts downwards. And it is a support issue. It's not like something is falling out, even though the sensation that we have may actually be like this. So there are different types of prolapse. Anterior is a bladder prolapse, uterus prolapse, and posterior prolapse, that is rectum prolapse. And there are grades of the prolapse that may be more or less advanced. In some cases, especially advanced cases, the surgery may be an option, but even after you have done the surgery, you still need to move and you need to think about strengthening your pelvic floor muscles. Meaning, if you have pelvic organ prolapse, that doesn't mean you have to stop exercising. It means that you have to do it in a very intelligent way, with the purpose, taking in consideration some important aspects of our pelvic floor functioning. It's not fragile. Our pelvic floor muscles are still muscles, meaning we want to strengthen them, and they respond to load and they respond to progression. If you look at the situation this way, it actually will give you a sense of control, meaning you still can and you should work with this area and treat it like they are, well, muscles, like we're treating other muscles of our body. And we want to improve, and we can build its capacity to sustain our organs gradually, intelligently, and with a purpose in mind. Before we pass on exercises part, I want to, one principle that is so important that we need to keep in mind always: our pelvic floor actually manages intra-abdominal pressure, and it holds and sustains our organs. It's moving, it should be moving, coordinated with our diaphragm, meaning it's actually the area that is responding to our breath. That's why through the breath we can improve its function, we can even make it stronger. When you exercise, whatever you do, the general rule is that we are exhaling when making effort, and then we should inhale. It's so important. You don't have to hold your breath unless you're doing specific exercises, but when you are working out, you should breathe like it's your priority. You think first of breathing well, of breathing, actually coordinating your breath with the movement, and then you're thinking of progressing and make your movement more advanced and doing some more repetitions. And this actually may change how every exercise feels and how you feel your pelvic floor during exercising. And one important nuance is about Kegel exercises that can be very useful or may not be useful or maybe even harmful. To assess your pelvic floor muscles, you should better visit a pelvic floor physiotherapist that can really evaluate your muscles and tell you if Kegel's exercises may be useful in your case, because if your muscles are already too tight and contracted, Kegel exercises may not be the case for you. And now I go on with exercises, but stay until the end, because after those exercises I want to say a few words about some movements and types of exercises you better avoid if you have pelvic organ prolapse. And if you have other issues like leaking, pain in your pelvic floor, pelvic organ prolapse, painful intercourse, download my free guide about 5 mistakes so many women over 40 make with their pelvic floor. You can find the link in the description. The first exercise is diaphragmatic breathing that will help you to relax and coordinate your pelvic floor muscles. Use this block that will help you to control if your belly is actually relaxed, so it moves up when you inhale and it goes down when you exhale. With time, you will feel better your pelvic floor muscles. And now the second exercise. It's a group of exercises. Actually, you can find other videos on my channel where I'm doing this bridges series. This bridge is brilliant exercise because it will help you to strengthen your pelvic floor muscles while your pelvic floor don't have to combat the gravity. So use these exercises. They are very useful, powerful, and easy to understand the technique. So I'm in this variation, I'm squeezing my block when I'm lifting the butt. So I'm going up, I'm exhaling and squeezing the block, and I'm activating my inner thighs, and then as a consequence, I'm activating also my pelvic floor muscles. And the third exercise is, it's also the series of exercises, not the one. So these are planks in many, many variations. You can start with one-legged version. You can do 2 knees on the floor. Here you have to breathe. You have to push the floor. Keep your belly in. Keep the spine straight. You may try the full variation just for a few seconds and then return to the easier version. So there are lots of planks, and I will do a workout based on this exercise because it's so useful to strengthen the pelvic floor and for prolapse issues. Here is the side plank that also has many variations. I can make it a little bit more difficult, trying to challenge my balance, or make it even more difficult with 2 legs straight. Put one leg in front of me so it will be easier for the balance, but still I have to keep my body straight, my abdomen working. So this one is the version that is much easier, the one to start with. Keep your belly in, try to keep the spine straight, try to find your balance even if for a few seconds. And now the clamshell is a nice exercise. The easiest version is this one, when I'm opening my hips and I'm starting here to strengthen my glutes. And then you can try this version that is more difficult. Then I have to lift my butt and my thighs, and then I open the hips and then return. I'm pushing with my arm, but I'm trying to use my belly, use my core muscles so the whole body is working. This will train your stomach stability. And one of the best exercises, of course, is the squat variation with a chair. I'm sitting down, trying to keep my spine straight and whole body involved, and then I go up, pushing my feet against the floor and activating my glute muscles, my core muscles as well, whole body working here. So you probably don't have to avoid so many exercises you may think of, but there are some you better should be cautious or avoid at the beginning. And here we're talking about heavy lifting. The weight is not the problem. I want to say that. You need to understand that when you are heavy lifting, you should be capable of managing your intra-abdominal pressure and breathe correctly to not create too much downward pressure on your pelvic floor muscles. So before you're sure of actually breathing without holding your breath, before you're sure of your technique of breathing that is coordinated with your diaphragm, you better do those exercises with your body weight, actually thinking about your breathing. And then you can gradually grab some weight and increase it. High impact jumping may create some leaking if you have pelvic organ prolapse. And if any movement creates that kind of problem, you better change it. You can avoid it for some time. After you have strengthened your pelvic floor muscles, you may try some kinds of jumping and see if the problem will reoccur. And traditional crunches that actually may create some downward pressure on your pelvic floor muscles, you don't have to do it because there are so many alternatives that will strengthen your abs, that will strengthen your core, and some of them I'll show you in a second. And these are safe alternatives for our abdomen and core. So the one that I love so much is a dead bug, because here we have lots of modifications from the easiest one. Then you can go on and upgrade upgrade it as you like. So I'm adding my arms with 2 legs, opening and closing, alternate one side, or left arm, right leg. So here try to keep your belly active. Try to keep your spine on the floor. This one is a bit more difficult, but you can still try to make 1 or 2 repetitions, or give it a try in this easier variation with my legs straight or almost straight. I'm going down, but not to lose control. Here we have to keep the control all the time, and we need to breathe. Then you can take a rest, and look, this exercise is not so easy at the beginning, but you will feel immediately your core working. So what I'm trying to do is trying to point my toe upward. I'm exhaling and drawing my belly in. So I'm exhaling here with my back around. Then you can also make this exercise if you cannot keep your legs straight, no problem. The idea is still the same. So then try to point your toe a little bit outwards, inwards, always upwards. So to the left and upward, to the right and upward, trying to run my back and activate my belly. You will feel it immediately. So, and then the same plank you've just seen a few minutes ago. Here we working on our core muscle strength, our stability and coordination of all the muscles of the system. So important for functioning of our pelvic floor muscles. There is no excessive downward force. You need to breathe here. You need to control your symptoms, and if they occur, stop exercising or pass on to the easiest version of this exercise. But you will see, I can guarantee you that with time it will become easier. There are lots of progressions that you can make here, and I promise to make another video with a workout based on plank progressions, as it's so useful for many pelvic floor issues. So prolapse is a support issue. You don't have to stop exercising because the movement is actually part of the solution. It's the cure, it's the therapy. And I hope this video has given you some clarity and sense of control. If you found it helpful, put a like, share it with a friend, and follow my channel.